I tried to warn you so many times about the KZ reptilian overlords, those noises you've been hearing in your basement. That's them KZ guys laying their eggs down there so they can spawn their evil upon the world in their attempt at global domination. And in this video, I'm looking at the KZ DeFi IEMs. Let's get it. What's cracking, audio fans? It's David here from Prime Audio Reviews. That is a box, and that is the KZ DeFi. Now, the cable itself, well, we're pretty used to seeing these types of cable from KZ before. Not too bad, except for these angled connectors, which are a real pain, and for me, an absolute deal breaker, because with the stock cable fitted, I cannot get a stable fit at all with the earpieces. They tilt at an unnatural angle. They just do not work. I had to change out the cable for something else. But for most people, it shouldn't be a problem. It's just my weird alien ears that cause that issue. But anyway, let's get on to the IEMs, and there they are. So the price of the DeFi here is a massive $21. There are two versions. There is a version with tuning switches, and there is a version without. And the price is only like the price difference is only like $1 or $2. So save yourself the regret later on and get the one with the switches, because if you don't, you'll always be wondering, what difference do the switches make? Oh, I got to know. I have to know. I'm going to tell you right now, a bit of a spoiler, the switches do very little. They do increase or decrease the level of the bass a few decibels, but really it's pretty minor. You could do without, but you know, just to ease your curiosity, spend an extra $1 or $2 more, get the one with the switches so you can still sleep at night. So inside of here, we've got a 10mm dynamic driver, so single dynamic again. So price of $21. Alloy shells. The shells themselves, are fairly comfortable, but like I said, for some people that cable might cause issues. If you have got these, or if you've bought these and you're finding the fit is just not quite right, something feels quite right, if you've got access, try something with straight connectors. Try a different cable. Made a world of difference for me. So how does our Overlord's new product actually sound? Well, let me tell you. I would say it's got a very mature tuning. It has a gentle touch of warmth, subtly veering away from absolute neutrality. And let's delve into the sonic profile now, unveiling its prowess across three pivotal sections: the bass, the mid-range, and the treble. And we'll start with the graph. So look at that, $21, and you're getting that kind of frequency response, which isn't unusual nowadays, but there's so many other things to consider. Just having a good looking graph does not seal the deal. Anyway, let's talk about the bass. And DeFi's boasts a commendable full-bodied bass. It resonates with depth, reaching into the heart of each note. However, unlike some bass-centric offerings, the DeFi maintains an air of neutrality in its quantity, abstaining from overwhelming the overall balance. And what I mean by that is there is, the bass doesn't feel nerfed or muted in any way, but it's certainly not boosted either. So it's a fairly neutral bass. And this restraint grants the low end a sense of control and precision, making it an ideal companion for various genres, whether it be the pulsating rhythms of electronic beats or the rhythmic thumps of acoustic melodies. Stepping into the mid-range domain, the DeFi takes center stage, with the vocals and instruments occupying a forward and prominent position. This forwardness injects an intimacy to the sound, rendering each vocal nuance and instrument's timbre with richness, but again, neutrality and fairly accurate timbre. The mid-range's captivating presence captures the listener's attention, making for an immersive and emotionally engaging experience. Then we've got the treble, and in the upper frequencies, the D-Fi displays a certain smoothness with a gentle roll-off in the treble presentation, and this characteristic imparts a sense of ease to the overall sound signature, ensuring that your ears remain unburdened by any sharp peaks or any harsh sibilance. The treble's softer touch takes away any hint of sharpness, allowing for hours of fatigue-free listening without sacrificing the essence of the musical details. So treble is fairly laid back. However, the level of detail retrieval is very good. Now for some technical abilities, the D-Fi has a reasonably large soundstage, particularly excelling in height with a natural and rounded shape. As in, the soundstage has a natural rounded shape, so it's not spread out and thin like that. It's not just narrow and thin, it's fairly natural. It sounds like you're in a natural space. Instrument separation is commendable, aided by its near neutral tone. However, imaging falls within fairly average standards. So positional cues are, honestly, they're not bad at all, but they're not as precise as certain other tunings. All right, time for a couple of quick comparisons, starting with the 7Hz Soundnotes Zero, which is about the same price, also a single dynamic driver IEM. Now, the Soundnotes Zero has slightly less bass quantity. They're very similar, but the D-Fi, well, depending on how you've got the switches, if you've got the switch version, it just nudges up the bass a tiny little bit more. Fairly similar response throughout the mid-range. However, in the upper mids, the Soundnotes Zero is just a little bit more subdued, which actually works with the lessened bass to end up these two IEMs. What I'm trying to say is they sound quite similar indeed. I found the Soundnotes Zero slightly harder to drive, so you need a little bit more power to get the same sound pressure levels out of the Zero. And in the treble, I'd say the Zero has just a little more treble presence, and that gives it a little bit of added clarity and detail compared to the D-Fi, whereas the D-Fi is just a tiny little bit warmer. It's just got a little bit more fullness in the bass, but it has all the same excellent qualities as the Zero. It's got great clarity, great detail retrieval. Honestly, they are both exceptional IEMs for the money, which is like $20 or maybe even less for the Zero now, I'm not sure. But they are both exceptional. Just, you could flip a coin to choose one, or you could just choose one based on how you think which one looks better. The D-Fi's got alloy shells, metal alloy shells, and the Soundnotes has got plastic or acrylic shells. So both excellent. And then we'll look at the KZ ZVX versus the D-Fi, and once again, both are incredibly good value for money. You're getting exceptional audio quality for a ridiculously low price. I think these are, from memory, these are about the same. These are like $19, and the ZVX, let me get the name right, the ZVX has got a little bit more bass than the D-Fi, and it's got slightly less forward mid-range, and then a similar sort of treble response. Now, what that does, it gives the ZVX a slightly larger soundstage, although vocals and mid-range instruments are not quite as forward. I wouldn't call it recessed at all. I'd say it's balanced or U-shaped. But the ZVX is just a little bit more fun to listen to, a little bit more fuller in the lows and a little bit drier in the mid-range. So whichever one you like would depend on what you're looking for and your personal preferences. Personally, I probably would go with the ZVX, although they are fairly similar and they are both fantastic. And I've got so much good gear available to me. Very fortunate that way, but you know, honestly, I can spend a whole day with with any of these three actually, and I don't miss anything at all. These are all excellent value. So with that said, thanks for watching the video. If you got any value out of it, give it the old thumbs up, Parfam audiophile style. And if you want to see more stuff like this in the future, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment down below if you've got any or all of these, and let me know what you think. And until next time, I'll see you later.